everyone. It is an absolute honor to welcome you all to TEDx Youth at Amity International School, Saket, a platform that cultivates innovation, passion, and the power of young minds to create meaningful change.
This event, titled Mutatio, meaning transformation, embodies the spirit of student-led initiatives. Because change begins when young minds dare to dream, lead, and take action.
It is under the guidance of our respected founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, who has embedded the magic mantra of BHAG, behavioral sciences, hard work, attitude, ambition, and faith in God in the hearts of every Amitian. And our respected chairperson, Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan, who is an inspiring and motivating leader, guiding countless Amitians and teachers towards their aspirations.
Thank you, sir and ma'am, for giving us the opportunity to host this event under the prestigious TEDx license, marking Amity's new venture into the global TED community.
Also, a heartfelt thank you to TED for giving us this opportunity to share ideas that inspire.
Before we begin, we would like to honor our esteemed guest speakers who have graciously joined us today to share their insights and experiences.
As a token of our appreciation and in keeping with Amity's commitment to sustainability, we would like to present each of our speakers with a plant symbolizing growth, impact, and the power of ideas that flourish.
To receive the tokens of appreciation, we invite Dr. Puneet Sood, a dedicated environmentalist.
A content creator and influencer who has inspired many through her creative storytelling.
Next, we welcome Ms. Asmita Chakraborty, an architect, social worker, and speaker who has represented India on many global platforms.
Finally, we invite Ms. Rashmi Malhotra, an educationist and mentor who has been instrumental in shaping young minds.
To mark the beginning of this enlightening event, we now invite our honored guests and respected dignitaries to join us for the traditional lighting of the lamp, a symbol of knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment. May we now request our dear Principal Ma'am and our esteemed guest speakers to kindly step forward to light the lamp.
This momentous occasion, it is our privilege to invite the visionary leader of our institution, our respected principal, Mrs. Divya Bhatia ma'am, to address the gathering.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Arna and Shriana, for setting the tone for the morning. It is on behalf of our chairperson, Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan ma'am, and our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, that I proudly welcome our esteemed guests to our first ever TEDx Youth Talk. Mutatio, our TEDx club, has been functioning for many years now, and we had a preliminary event some years ago, but after officially getting a TED license, permissions, everything, this is the first time that we are holding a talk, and I'm so privileged to have luminaries there who will proceed and interact with our children. I'm honored to welcome Mr. Puneet Sood, who has been working with various NGOs for over 30 years. Sir is a full-time environmentalist for the last 7 years. He is co-convener Delhi and member All India Team Paryavaran Sarakshan Gatividhi and founder member Panchamritam Eco Solutions. As an environmentalist, Dr. Sood has been a key advocate for stronger regulations and policies to address the growing concerns of air and water contamination. With over 30 years of dedicated work, he has been deeply involved with various NGOs focused on environmental welfare, tirelessly striving to create a cleaner, healthier world for future generations. Sir has already been enrolled with the present government of Delhi to improve the conditions, the environmental conditions, the cleanliness. You already know that initiatives for Yamuna cleaning are going on. So we are so grateful to you, sir, for giving us your time. And my apologies to all the speakers. You had very huge resumes. I've concised them to lesser because I want to give you time to speak to the children. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. Ms. Rose Patra started creating content at just 17 years. So she's truly student-led initiative, a proper pillar for that, and gave her first talk at 21. She became an influencer before the term even existed. Now all of you know what influencers are, you're following, and some of you may be influencers yourself. I think our children are YouTube. I mean, I can't follow what they do. I don't understand so much about it. So ma'am has been an influencer even before the term existed, collaborating with top brands like Pond's, Garnier, L'Oreal, Lay's, Myntra, Nika, Papa Don't Preach, Balmain, Hershey's, Siska, Livon, Macron, Maybelline, Olaplex, Biba, my God, Vero Moda, Dyson, and many more. She was also a part of Myntra Fashion Superstar Season 1, featured on platforms like NDTV and India Today, as well as magazine covers like The Professional Times and Sri Lakshmi. She holds a fashion business degree from Pearl Academy with 113,000 Instagram followers. She continues to inspire and innovate in the digital space. Thank you so much for your time. A very warm welcome to Ms. Rashmi Malhotra. Rashmi Malhotra ma'am is a practicing biography consultant. Children, these are terms, I think, these are modern career terms that you should know about. Maybe you can ask ma'am what a biography consultant and trainer is. She's a counseling psychologist, extra lesson practitioner, shamanic healing practitioner, ma'am will discuss this later to know what it is, and movement therapy facilitator. She holds the position of founder director of Ananta Connections for the last 10 years. She's also a founder director of Association for Holistic Biography Work, an organization aimed at supporting biography practitioners all over the world. Her clientele includes CEOs, entrepreneurs, leaders, professionals, teachers, and students for varied personal issues and challenges. She has delivered over 700 experiential, highly appreciated workshops in the area of self-development, communication, relationships, parenting, leadership, and much more. And these have been across a diverse range of age groups with participants from all grades and roles in different national and international NGOs such as the Aga Khan Foundation, Kailash Satyarthi Foundation, Childline Foundation, and many others. She has supported projects through developing life skills manuals for different organizations, the United Nations Population Fund, Aga Khan Development, and Kailash Satyarthi, and many more. Over the last 23 years, she's been working with individuals and groups on varied personal and professional issues with the objective of enabling them to live their daily life with ease and to find their way forward and consciously develop strategies to walk their path joyfully, the life path. To bring a more transformative shift, her practices involve combining psychology and whatever. And so alright. With mindfulness and spirituality, scientifically and practically. Thank you so much, Rashmina. It's a pleasure to have you. And finally, okay, we'll have a competition to pronounce all these difficult words. I don't laugh at me. And finally, we have Ms. Asmita Chakravarti, our beautiful alumna, beautiful inside out, a former beauty queen, crowned Miss Tourism India 2023, a jury member for Miss Universe and other prestigious pageants. She's always been dedicated to empowering others through self-reliance and purpose. Her journey has taught her importance of balance, perseverance, and growth. Even at school, she was able to balance perfectly her academics and extracurricular with great elan. She strives to make a meaningful contribution for the holistic development of today's youth. She has done her bachelor's in architecture and is going to pursue her master's in architecture, basically in urban sustainability from UCL London. So, children, she is an inspiration for all of you. Your senior from our school, brilliant student. I don't think we ever thought she would get into beauty pageants, but then she found her way there and has done wonderfully there. And she teaches people how to balance both their lives and their professional lives and also keep their chin up all the time. So thank you so much, Asmita, for being here. Huge round of applause. Our chairperson, Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan, is a true woman of substance. With sheer grit, determination, and singular dedication, she has carved out a winning rhythm for the much sought-after Amity group of schools. Under her able guidance, Amity is leaving an indelible imprint on the academic landscape and imparting quality education. There are schools in India, all over the world. We have schools for the underprivileged girl children and male children running in our school campuses after school. She's a visionary to the core and endorses a curriculum that is not only innovative but holistic in essence. Her initiative, Youth Power, some of you are members, some of you have participated in Youth Power, but most of you have been involved in it in some way or the other, is a completely student-led initiative where we empower our students to work on projects that uplift society. From working with cancer patients to slum-dwelling children to stray animals, our children have shown fantastic leadership skills over the years. Our newspaper, the Global Times, is also a student-led initiative by the children, for the children, and of the children. They make a newspaper every year. There's a newspaper making competition. Completely, children are in charge. The teacher is just there to guide and steer them. It is the only registered newspaper in India, school-registered newspaper in India. We all know of examples like Malala and Greta Thunberg, and I think people will talk about it in their speeches. They have moved the world, and their initiatives can definitely be called youth-led initiatives. But I'm sure our Amitians will also be empowered to lead the world. One day we will all be there, because right from now, whether it is MUNs, they all participate in Model United Nations, where the students are running the complete show. They have Amity Chhatra Sansad, where they are running the complete show. We have a festival called Amity Tarang, and our student council completely conducts the entire process of the invitations, the registrations, the conduction of events. So we are giving them a lot of responsibility, and I hope they will step into leadership roles very easily and also take forward the message of Bhaag, already spoken by the anchors in the beginning, where good behavior, hard work, correct attitude, ambition, and of course faith in God will work towards helping you find success, and as I was talking to Mr. Sood a little while ago, also helping you to face failures and rise up from where you fall and again make a life for yourself. One perfect example that I've been sharing is Sunita Williams. Look at her perseverance. Imagine about to come back and then you're stuck somewhere in space not knowing what your future is for so many months, and she's come down smiling. So a big round of applause for her. We're so proud of her. So thank you so much all of you for being here. Children, I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful session. We look forward to your riveting talks. We look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to learning from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. reality.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time to hear from our incredible speakers who will take us on a journey of ideas, innovation, and transformation.
Please welcome Ms. Asmita to take the stage and share her insights.
Good morning, everyone. Are we all feeling great? So, I am feeling very, very privileged to be standing once again back on this particular stage. So, before I move on to today's very interesting topic, I want you to think of something. When I say the word leader, what comes to your mind? You know, I ask this question to a lot of people. Okay. So do I go again? Alright. So I'll go again. Now, I was saying that when I ask you to think of the word leader, what comes to your mind? You know, I asked this question to a lot of other students of your age, and the answers that I would get is often world leaders like Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela. That's the first people that they think of. Even entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg, sometimes their parents or their teachers. Now the most interesting thing to note here is that all the names which come to your mind are people who are at the top of what they do in their respective fields. But not for once, the first name that we think of is ourselves. And this is what I want to tell you today. That what if I told you that some of the most impactful leaders around the world started off just as students like you. Now, little personal story here. A few years back, I found myself at crossroad of life when I was in high school and I was facing that pressure of examinations. And at that point of time, I also had this question that what impact am I really creating? You know, was I doing something out of the box? And you know, school can sometimes get so overwhelming and stressful that I did not even have the time to look beyond my textbooks. But then I realized one little thing, that I also came to school to learn the skills which was developing me as a person, like communication, organizing events, and working with my peers together for different projects. And these were the skills that would eventually help me to make a difference. So while all of you are balancing your academic life as well as your social life and your extracurriculars thing, then you don't come to school just for academic knowledge, but also to build your potential to lead, innovate, and start to bring a difference, which begins right now. And by leading, I don't mean like being a class monitor or being a part of the student council. That is not what I mean. By leading, I mean you lead real life projects which bring an impact which is tangible and it helps the community and to build the world. So today I'll share my story with you, and I also want to tell you that you do not have a perfect moment to start because the moment is now. Now, many of the times, a lot of you might feel that, okay, we are just students, what can we do? I mean, we are financially dependent on our parents, we need pocket money, we are not even of the age to, boat or drive, we don't have enough resources, so what can we do? But if I tell you that every big every movement and every action starts with that one person who says that I want to do something different. Imagine it this way. You wake up in the morning, you step out of your house, and you see some litter outside, alright? And you just look at it and you're like, let it be, and walk away because somebody will come and pick it up. But the moment you decide that you want to pick it up, that's where the change is beginning. And this is the beauty of student-led initiatives. Because no matter how small or minute the things that you do, but eventually it lays the foundation for something very, very big. We always think that, the government or most powerful leaders and big corporations are the ones taking up the initiative, but history has shown us that some of the most transformative and profound changes were absolutely student-led. And we talk about movements like the civil rights movements or Fridays for Future, and these were all basically student-led movements when students took everything at their own hands. Now, the next thing that I believe is there are three main key pillars to create an impactful change. The first one is empathy. You need to look around you and realize what is that one issue that you passionately want to solve. The second one is definitely action. Because ideas can be powerful, but if you don't take any action, it doesn't work. And the third one is sustainability. Because you can just do something for one time, but till the time it creates a lasting impact, it's not true change. So you have to think for the longer run. Now let me come to my story. So as a student, I was very firm believer that hard work is very essential, and I put my heart and soul into every subject that I studied. But I never let academics define me. I was always a part of a lot of extracurricular activities because that was the space that helped me realize my love for community building and the leadership that I developed. So I'll tell you the very first time when I realized the power of student initiatives. I was participating in this competition called Project Citizen when I was in about class 8 or 9. And our topic was health and hygiene in urban slums. Initially, we started just as some competition. But the moment the group of 10 friends, we sat down together and we actually did site visits, we went to the slums, we spoke to people, that's when we realized that how pressing these issues can be. And that was the moment when we wanted to find real solutions. You won't believe what we actually got after months of hard work, an award from the government. And that was the very first time we realized that these were the little changes, these little initiatives can bring up a big difference. The next thing that I remember is being a part of an initiative called Each One Teach One, where from our school we were asked to help one underprivileged person in their education. And we would get marks for that, so initially we started just for getting marks. But through this process of helping my house help's daughter, I realized that there was something very fulfilling about imparting education and guidance. I wasn't doing much, I was just taking out a few hours from my week and just guiding her, but that created a very profound impact. And I think this is where I started having that empathy and understanding of the power of education, which is why when I moved to my architecture college, I started being a part of a program called the Education Mentorship Program, where we as mentors would have mentees under us whom we would guide towards finding their right career path. And then I started being a part of this huge community of like-minded individuals whose only mission was to help impart guidance and education to the people who need it. Slowly and gradually I started involving with a lot of NGOs. My main role was to gather more and more people so that everybody could, take out some time and be a part of this beautiful community. Now what I also realized from this particular experience was my passion for the cause. Eventually, the most satisfying part was when some of my mentees would call me and they would tell me that, ma'am, today I achieved this because you showed me the right path. And that was the most fulfilling moment for me. The next thing is my journey into the world of beauty pageants. As you know, I participated in Miss India, and over there we had to present our purpose project. And I already had my project of purpose, which was building this community of educators who would impart skills and guidance to underprivileged people. And this was the project that I presented in front of everybody on a national platform, in front of big stakeholders and sponsors. And slowly and gradually, I took this to the global platform, where I was crowned as Miss Tourism India and I represented India internationally. And this was the very initiative that I presented and carried there. So this movement basically started just as a student-led initiative, but over time I got to present it to a large audience, and my work doesn't end here because I still have a very long way to go with this. But today, standing here, I want to tell you that I'm not just someone who had a title or a crown, but I am someone who witnessed the power that student-led initiatives have to transform changes. And every step might be very, very small, but eventually the impact is very, very profound. Now, I will tell you why exactly do student-led initiatives work so well. That's because you people care about things, understand things, and have the energy and creativity which many grown-ups cannot think of. When I was your age, to find out resources and connections, we often had to go physically and talk to people because social media wasn't as strong back then. But in today's time, when you have everything at your fingertips, how difficult could it be for you to connect with people or organizations who can help you start your purpose project? Now, another thing is that I will tell you the steps which I followed when I had to find my project of purpose. So the first one is identifying a need. You look around, you identify what problems you want to solve. The second is starting small, of course. Whether it's a little fundraiser or it's a little campaign, you just start. Now the third one is gathering people. Because no initiative can begin with one single person. Great leaders know that change can only be created when you have people with you. And finally, be persistent, because there will be many setbacks, but you do have to be persistent. Now, I feel that all this was just the beginning, and your voices, the voice of young people, is something which is heard the loudest in today's time. From classrooms to boardrooms, from local stages to global stages, young students are heard everywhere, and these young children prove that you don't need to become a leader after graduation. You can start right away. And every initiative that you participate in, it does not have to be something of global impact. It could be very small and minor, and it will eventually ripple out. Now, when I say the ripple effect, students who work in one part of the world, they can inspire others in many different parts of the world in today's time, and it can transcend boundaries, because such is digital communication and networking in today's time. So I just want you to realize that start today, because it is very, very crucial. And as we move forward, I want to tell you that this was the very stage where I started my journey. This was the time when I would be given a script and I would be welcoming inspiring guests standing right here. And today I get this chance to stand back on the stage, but this time without a script, sharing my story. So this has been my journey, and this shaped me and helped me find my voice. What would have happened if I thought I would only be involved in books and would not step out of my classroom? So, I believe that whether you're a student or not, you will have many opportunities along the way to create and to lead. But I feel that school is the perfect time to start and to think out of the box, explore your horizons, and find your true purpose, because this is the age where you can nurture the leader which is in you. And every great initiative starts with a little spark, and that could be in you right now. So before I leave, I will leave you with this question, that what's stopping you from starting now? Thank you so much, everyone. This is Ashita Chaturvedi. Still my forward, still evolving. Thank you.
athlete who has taken bold steps towards creating change.
Let's welcome Vanshika, whose ideas are sure to leave us inspired and thinking in new directions. Vanshika, the stage is yours.
The youth of today are the future of tomorrow. Greetings everyone. My name is Vanshika Sharma and I'm 14 years old. Today I'm going to be talking about something which is of great importance. I personally believe that we, the youth, are the future of our country. As a student who has been part of multiple student-led initiatives and clubs, I know that it is us adolescents who are the thinkers of today and the shapers of tomorrow. I would specifically like to talk about the ripple effect. Small acts often spark huge changes. Some of you may have heard this quote from Lao Tzu. Great acts are made up of small deeds. Making a difference isn't always about massive reforms or grand gestures. It's often always about the small but simple acts that ripple outwards and reach for the sky. We are the potential resources, the precious citizens of our country. The plans we create, the initiatives we take, are the things that will determine what our world will look like in the upcoming decades. As youth, you and I have the unparalleled ability to influence and inspire like no other. Whether it's through sharing a thoughtful post on social media, simply listening to a friend in need, or taking part in a community cleanup, each action sends out ripples. It tells the world, this is what I stand for, and this is the world I want to create. I personally ensure that I do my part in taking up responsibility for others. I am a member of the Green Warriors Club at our school, where we take care of the environment. I have also taken part in multiple community-led cleanups and say no to plastic drives organized by the RWA of my college. I love animals, and I have been associated with an NGO as a youth intern for the last 3 years. I feed the stray dogs, provide them with beds and sweaters in the winters, do fundraisers, and start animal-friendly Holi and Diwali awareness campaigns. Seeing me do all this inspired my friends, and they also started taking care of the animals around them. You see, just doing your part inspires everyone else to also join your cause. It is our job to lead by example and to motivate and influence all those around us. As youth, you and I are very powerful. Our ideas and influence often resonate with our peers and it inspires everyone else. Simple acts like just helping someone cross the road or donating to the people in need send out ripples that start a chain of positivity. You see, the beauty of the ripple effect is that you may never fully know its reach. Imagine you smile at a stranger. That smile may brighten their day, leading them to be kinder to someone else. This would then inspire further positivity, a network of good deeds set in motion by just one simple small act. Stepping up as a leader and taking charge, rising to the opportunities is also very important. A train can have multiple carriages, but it won't move forward unless there is an engine in front of them. Us, the youth, are very powerful. We have to take charge and change the world. One day, when I was in class 4, a new student named Ria joined our school. She was very awkward and uncomfortable at first. So I sat with her during the lunch break, talked to her, and made her feel welcome. As the weeks went by, she became more comfortable, took part in extracurricular activities, and even helped another student adjust to the new school life. You see, this one small act of kindness started a chain of inclusion and friendliness in the entire class. There is another example. Consider recycling. When one family in a locality starts recycling, they may motivate others also to join their cause. Over time, this collective effort can significantly reduce waste. Now, I'm sure all of you are wondering, do my small actions really matter? The answer is yes. Imagine if every single person in this room decides to do one small good act for each day. Maybe you mentor a younger student, plant a tree, or simply listen to a friend in need. Every action sends out ripples. Every single small action matters. Now, this isn't limited to kindness. Small actions in any domain, environmental, personal, social matter. They go out to the world and inspire everyone else. Studies show that the ripple effect is not just poetic, it's backed by psychology and sociology. Empathy, kindness, compassion, and generosity are contagious. One person's bold move can inspire others, and this will amplify the effect and motivate everyone to join the cause until it creates real, large scale change. I would also like to elaborate upon the fact that it is us who are the most powerful people in our country. Changing the world is in our hands because we, the youth, are the most powerful citizens. Every single small act matters, and we should always remember that. We should not forget the importance of that. Now, I know most of you probably slept through that long lecture, so here's the takeaway. Life isn't always about the big cannonball flashes. It's about the pebbles we throw into the pond, the ripples we create, and occasionally the frogs we accidentally startle. Life isn't always about big gestures. Every small action matters, even if it may seem completely absurd in the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanshika, for that insightful and thought-provoking talk. Your ideas have truly given us a fresh perspective.
Now let's invite Miss Rose to enlighten us with her experience.
Is the mic on? Can you all hear me? Yes. Good. I just have to ask my team if it's good to go. One second. I'm a content creator, guys. What do you expect? Is it working? Done? Okay. Okay. Pakka? All good? Okay. Hi, guys. I am Rose Kawatra. And thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, ma'am. It was lovely. I think, like most of you know now, I started making content when I was 17 years old. I think similar to your age, right? Like I was also like fresh out of school, I remember. So like a teenager who doesn't know anything but just loves to be in front of the camera, and I just picked up the camera and I started making videos on YouTube. And I still remember my first video that I put out. I was sitting on the floor and there was a sofa. I was sitting in front of a sofa and there were literally slippers beneath the sofa. So my first video that I had put out, where everybody was obviously judging me and all, I had slippers in my frame. So I'm sure like the term influencer didn't exist when I started. I'm sure the word aesthetic also didn't exist when I started, because clearly I had slippers in my frame. But then I started creating content, I started making videos on YouTube. And when I started, I felt that it's so unique what I'm doing. Not a lot of people were doing at that time. There were just a handful of us figuring out. So I thought, oh wow, I'm doing something which is new. I'll have the first mover advantage and all of that. But of course in India now, if you have like a business idea in your head, I think the next day you feel like the market is saturated now. So there's like cutthroat competition in India right now. But at that time there were not a lot of influencers. But yeah, so after 7 years now of creating content and working with global brands, being on multiple magazine covers, and also I'm running my own digital media agency now. So after living my dream life, like now for 7 years, I think I've cracked the code. Like I think I've cracked the formula, okay, of success, which I'm gonna share with you. I think it's as simple as changing. Okay, so that's the theme of the talk today, right? Mutatio, which means change. So I'm simply going to talk about the power of change, and I'll tell you why I'm giving this simple word like change a lot of importance. Okay. So, when I was in school, okay, let me share something about school. I was in 11th standard, and I took science stream because my parents wanted me to become a doctor, so I took science stream, thinking कि मैं कर लूँगी कोई नहीं. But 11th standard, I was almost failing. Like I couldn't learn. A lot of people are laughing. I'm sure you can relate. Yeah, but hear me out. What happens next? So I was almost failing. I was learning biology, physics, chemistry. I just couldn't do it for the life of me. But I was like, okay, so I had two options now. Either I could take more tuition, study harder, and again attempt 12th in the same stream, and probably again almost fail. And the second option was maybe I change my stream and change to the subjects that I actually love studying and do something with it. So what actually happened was when I changed my stream to science to humanities, like in 11th I studied science, in 12th I took humanities, which I love. I actually was able to top my entire school. So, yeah, so I was the topper of my school, and can you believe it? If I wouldn't change the stream, so my 12th विषय में fail हो रही होती. So that journey from being a failure to a school topper was just because there's one thing, which is I took the decision to change my stream. So sometimes when you feel stuck, कि यार I'm stagnant, कि समझ नहीं आ रहा है क्या, all you need is to change a little bit, right? Then when I started making videos, 2 साल मैंने videos बनाई बहुत सारी, लगातार, every day we have to post. It's a hectic job. After some time, followers were not growing. So I was stuck in my numbers, and in my career, like followers and numbers are a metric of success. So followers nahi बढ़ रहे थे. I was like, what do I do now? I don't know. I don't want to do this anymore. It's been 2 years of me posting daily. Then at that I was making fashion, beauty, lifestyle content on a very general level, like what to wear, how to do your makeup, how to do your skincare. I was making general videos. Then I changed my strategy and I catered, like I made my videos specific for the audience who was following me. So at that time, very young girls like you guys, like 16 to 21 was the age bracket that was following me at that time. Because I was also young. So I started picking problems, that what problems do you guys have on a day-to-day basis. I picked those problems and I made videos according to that, very solution oriented. The basics is that I changed my strategy a bit. And just 1 year of doing that, changing my strategy, I landed out on my first TED Talk when I was just 21. So I was very young, like one of the youngest people to give a TED Talk. So that happened, so that TED Talk happened only because I changed my strategy a bit. I didn't do nothing, I just changed my strategy. Then again, after 2 years of making content again, then I got stuck, my followers were not growing. Followers बढ़ ही नहीं रहे थे और तब मुझे लगा कि 4 साल हो गए हैं videos बनाते हुए, now I can't do it, I'm giving up. But then again, there are always 2 options. One is giving up and one is try maybe changing something. Then I again changed my strategy and I realized that the girls who are following me now, they have also grown up now. So I have also grown up, they have also grown up now, they have bigger concerns. So I started making videos on health, on wellness, on self-improvement, which is now what I make videos on. And now, see, I'm 24 and I'm giving my second TED Talk. I could have easily given up. So the thing is, if you guys, because your life is long, abhi bahut challenges, bahut struggles aayenge life mein, and you will feel like giving up. It's very common, feeling aise aata hai that I want to give up. Before giving up, just sit down once and sit and see, is there anything that I can change? And it's not just about the career, right? Personal life, professional life, emotionally, physically, there can be many things where you feel stuck. कि यार weight कम नहीं हो रहा है, but I've been eating the same way. Should I just change my diet a bit and you'll see results? So it's so simple, but it's so powerful. This is how I have shaped my life. Change करके, पहले change करी stream, तो success मिला. Strategy change करी content की, पहली TED Talk की. फिर दोबारा से niche ही बदल दी. एक क्रिएटर के लिए जो वो 4 साल एक क्रिएटर एक नीश में कंटेंट बनाता है ना, फिर वो टेक हो, फूड हो, कोई भी ट्रैवल हो, जो भी आपको पसंद है, 4 साल जब एक क्रिएटर उस इंडस्ट्री में काम करता है, उसके बाद उसको चेंज करना एक बहुत बड़ा स्टेप होता है, जिसमें बहुत रिस्क भी होते हैं. बट आई टुक दैट स्टेप एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई एम हियर. नहीं तो मैंने सोचा था बंद करो भाई, इंस्टाग्राम हो गया मेरा और मैं नहीं कर सकती और वीडियोस नहीं बना सकती. बट सी, सो जब भी नेक्स्ट टाइम कभी भी लाइफ में आपको गिव अप करने वाला थॉट आए ना कि मुझे नहीं करना, just remember me and think कि यार नहीं, गिव अप करने से पहले एक बार सोच लेता हूँ कि यार कुछ चेंज करके देख सकते हैं क्या, कुछ ट्राई करके देख सकते हैं, and it always works. And I also feel like for me to be able to do all of this at such a young age, I was financially independent at a very young age, I could chase my dreams very fearlessly, right? How is that possible? How could I do it? Whereas my peers, my college mates and school mates were still living the traditional way of telling padhai fir ye step by step. But I broke that stereotype and I did something at a younger age. But how could I do it? Do you think it was just me because I wanted to do it and I could do it? It was because of my parents, right? And when I talk about parents, I am talking about how my parents changed themselves with the evolving time. I'm not a parent and I'm not here to give a parenting advice, but I feel like those parents who themselves with the time, जो नए ट्रेंड्स के साथ अपने आप को इवॉल्व करते हैं, जो अपना माइंडसेट बदलते हैं, जो सिर्फ ये नहीं कहते कि यार ज़माना देखो कितना बदल गया है, वो ज़माने के साथ खुद को भी बदलते हैं. उनके बच्चे they are able to succeed because the ones who are in their own mindset कि सोसाइटी के डर में जीना है कि ये नहीं ये क्या वीडियोस बना रहे हैं सबका सारा में लोग क्या बोलेंगे ऑल दैट. अगर पेरेंट्स वो सोचते हैं unknowingly चाहे ना चाहे वो अपने पेरेंट्स की I think they limit their children's potential in a way unknowingly उन्हें नहीं पता होता. So I feel like it's not like कि हमेशा पेरेंट्स ही आपको एजुकेट करेंगे, राइट? लाइक पेरेंट्स उनका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि आपको एजुकेट करते रहना है एट एवरी स्टेप ऑफ द वे. यू कैन ऑल्सो एजुकेट योर पेरेंट्स एंड यू कैन मेक योर पेरेंट्स सिट डाउन, मेक योर फादर एंड योर मदर सिट डाउन, व्हिच इज व्हाट आई डिड. कि हे डैड, दिस इज व्हाट आई थिंक आई वांट टू डू. मेरे पास ये बिजनेस आइडिया है, ये स्ट्रैटेजी है मेरी, आई थिंक दिस इज व्हाई इट कैन वर्क एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू डू. मे बी योर पेरेंट्स actually think of यार कि let me give the child the freedom ताकि flourish करो आप. What I mean to say is only you don't have to change. Your parents also should be changing according to the newer times. सिर्फ अकेले मेरे change करने से क्या होता ना? मेरा मन था कि मुझे content creator बनना है, सब कुछ करना है, but अगर मम्मी पापा बोल देते कि नहीं करना, तो मैं क्या करती? हो सकता है आपके पेरेंट्स आपको अभी स्ट्रिक्ट करते हो, बेटा पहले पढ़ो, नहीं पहले पढ़ाई करो, फिर पूरी लाइफ काम करना है, पहले पढ़ाई खत्म कर दो. ये यूजुअल कॉन्वर्सेशंस होते हैं आई थिंक सभी घर में. बट व्हाट इफ एट दैट टाइम हम बोले कि पापा 5 मिनट बस मेरी बात सुनो, मेरा ये प्लान है, दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू डू. क्या लगता है आपको? बिकॉज हम पढ़ाई क्यों कर रहे हैं? टू गेट अ जॉब. हम जॉब क्यों कर रहे हैं? टू अर्न मनी. सो द एंड गोल इज टू अर्न मनी, राइट? आई एम बीइंग वेरी प्रैक्टिकल. आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू लाइक अ फ्रेंड टू फ्रेंड. I'm not sure if teachers might like this advice, but what I think is कि हम काम तो at the end of the day पैसे कमाने के लिए कर रहे हैं ना. Now the Zepto founders, they started Zepto, जो आजकल हमारे like हर किसी के फोन में. I'm sure आप लोग भी कितने सामान मंगाते होंगे Zepto से, right? वो किसने शुरू किया था? किस एज में शुरू किया था? The two founders were 9. Yes, someone said it in the audience, ना? 19 में क्या उसने उठा और उसने सोचा कि चलो मैं Zepto बनाऊं, अगले दिन कंपनी बन गई? नहीं. 2-3 years he worked really hard, so I'm sure कि 17-18 उस टाइम पे शुरू किया होगा, right? And Zepto, I mean, like this is the example that you should be looking at. And अपने पेरेंट्स अगर नहीं माने तो अब तो Zepto का एग्जाम्पल है कि पापा 19 years में उसने ये कंपनी बनाई है. This is my idea. Can I please give it a try? And I promise मैं अपनी पढ़ाई कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करूँगी. I promise मैं अच्छे से पढ़ूंगी, सब कुछ करूँगी, but I really want to give it a try. And what if your parents say yes? And what if you at 21 are giving a TED talk? What if at 24 you're giving another TED talk? So all I'm saying is कि parents को भी हम educate कर सकते हैं, right? So next time if you ever feel that you are stuck, समझ नहीं आ रहा है, थोड़ा change करके देखो. It can be anything. तो आज please घर जाना और कोई भी ऐसी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम आ रही हो जहाँ लग रहा है कि मैं stuck हो रहा हूँ या नहीं ये समझ आ रहा है what to do. Just sit. Maybe you want to change simply the way you dress. It can be as basic, na? Maybe you just want to change the way you talk. Maybe you want to change the way you look, weight reduce karna or whatever. Maybe you want to change the way you live. Maybe you want to change the way you think. And if you do that, 100%, you'll see results. Then your life can change, just like I changed mine. Okay? So thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed. And also, I know that you should not be using a lot of phone. बहुत ज़्यादा स्क्रीन टाइम नहीं होना चाहिए. I know सब लोग बोलते हैं, टीचर्स बोलेंगे मुझे, but please follow me on Instagram because I know you guys use Instagram. तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. घर जाके my name is Rose Kawatra. That's my handle. ROSEKAWTRA. Do follow me. And if there's anything you want to talk about, please DM me. My DMs are always open. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your wisdom and experiences with us today.
Next, we have Vedant, another talented speaker from TEDxAmitySaketYouth, who will share his experiences and ideas that are sure to leave us inspired.
What if I tell you, starting now, in the next 24 hours, over 3 million trees will be cut down? But did you know, over 15 billion trees have been planted just because of a 12-year-old boy's school project? Or that a 14-year-old boy powered his entire village? Or that two high school students, just like us, reduced bullying in their entire state? These are not just fictional stories, but facts, truths, and events. These are kids with no parental guidance, no experience, no connections. I'm Vedant Maheshwari, and today I want to show you how that's possible for each and every one of us present here. Imagine standing in a room filled with world leaders, policymakers, scientists. Then imagine the speaker they're listening to is a 12-year-old boy. That 12-year-old boy was Felix Finkenneck, a German schoolboy, addressing the United Nations General Assembly, saying, what if children planted 1,000,000 trees in every country? Wouldn't that be a great start in saving the world? He was just 9 years old when he was given a school project on writing a report on climate change. While researching, he came across a woman from Kenya who planted 30 million trees through a movement. Felix thought, if one person could plant 30 million trees, why can't children all over the world do the same? So, instead of just turning in a paper, he stood up in front of his entire class and said, why don't we plant 1,000,000 trees? A simple yet bold idea, which no one expected to go anywhere. But that's the thing. Big changes don't need big plans, just a small step. Your step could be a random, spontaneous spark, or maybe an idea, which could spark another big change in the society. If your idea, your step, causes a ripple effect, it automatically spreads to the audience, spreads to the people, encourages them. Then your idea will make a big change. Felix took that first step. With the help of his classmates and teachers, he planted one tree outside his school. Just one tree. That one tree inspired others, inspired onlookers, students, his entire state. Even the local government noticed. By the age of 12-13, he was on the biggest stage for multinational discussions, the United Nations stage. His Plant for the Planet's project was now a global movement, where children, just like us, were in lead and not adults. Think about it, that one idea, one classroom and one tree sparked such a big change. There was no helping needed for Felix. His idea spread automatically through the audience, through his people, through his friends. That's the thing. If your idea, like a droplet of water, spreads, affects more and more people, then you have done a great thing. Your step could be just cleaning your surroundings, planting a small tree, maybe a small initiative. But if it encourages one more person, one additional person, you have done something great, a deal greater than yourself. Now, let's talk about all of us present here. How many of us have had an idea, maybe while overthinking, struggling to sleep, or while showering? Those shower thoughts, But we never acted upon them because we thought we don't have the required age, the guidance, the connections, experience. But neither did Felix have any of those things. He started anyways, taking all these hardships as motivations to move forward and never stop. And that reminds me of something that happened to me. It wasn't anything huge or groundbreaking. I just started separating wet and dry waste. That's it. At first, it felt like a simple, personal initiative, which maybe would lead to nothing. But later, my neighbors got curious. They asked, does it even make a change? And why are you even doing this? But later, I got to know they started the same thing. My whole colony joined in. My small effort, my small initiative was now in the whole colony. Everybody started separating their garbage into wet and dry waste. Then I understood how important one initial action is. That one action produced a ripple which inspired others, which inspired my whole colony. Power and money doesn't matter. What matters is the first step you take. Because that one initial action is the one which can truly change the world. Because big changes are not done by forcing other people to act, but by encouraging them to move. Think about it, that one tree becomes a forest, one idea becomes a movement, and one action which creates the ripple can make a big change in the society. So today, I'll leave you with just one question, just one. What's your first tree? Because maybe it's a school project, a small initiative, a small act of kindness. It can truly make a big change. Felix planted a tree. What will you guys plant? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vedantria, for your incredible insights. We now take the privilege to invite Dr. Puneet Sood on the stage.
आवाज साफ है पढ़ थैंक यू सो एट द आउटसेट मैं धन्यवाद करूंगा अपने स्कूल के प्रिंसिपल इसकी मैनेजमेंट को जो पर्यावरण के लिए इतना चिंता करते हैं बार बार इस विषय पर टॉपिक हम कर रहे हैं उससे ज्यादा धन्यवाद मैं करूंगा स्कूल के बच्चों को जिन्होंने पिछली कुछ पीढ़ियों की जो गलतियां हैं उनको ठीक करने का इनिशिएटिव आप लेने के लिए तैयार हैं। तो बात करते हैं जब कहानी शुरू होती है तो वंस अपॉन टाइम से तो अपनी ये जो धरती है हम बात करें मोहनजोदाड़ो हड़प्पा काल की उसके बाद वैदिक काल शुरू होता है। वैदिक काल में क्या हो रहा है कि हम अपनी ये जो आपकी जो संस्कृति है अपनी जो जीवनचर्या ये प्रारंभ करते हैं कहां पर नदियों के किनारे। अब नदियों के किनारे शुरू करते हैं तो वहां पर पेड़ हैं और उसके नीचे क्योंकि घर नहीं है तो पेड़ों के नीचे रह करके अपना जीवन शुरू करते हैं। जब पेड़ों के नीचे जीवन शुरू करते हैं तो पेड़ हमें क्या देता है पेड़ हमें आश्रय दे रहा है पेड़ हमें फल दे रहा है शुद्ध वायु देता है उसके आसपास पानी है तो ये हमारा जीवन यहाँ से प्रारंभ हुआ। हमने लंबे समय तक जीवन पेड़ों के साथ प्रकृति के साथ बिताया लेकिन धीरे धीरे क्या हुआ तो हम उपभोक्तावाद की कंज्यूमरिज्म की तरफ बढ़ते हैं और वहां से प्रॉब्लम शुरू होती है। अभी जो पेड़ है ये अब से नहीं है हमारे जीवन के प्रारंभ होने से लाखों करोड़ों वर्षों से पहले से लेकिन हमने एक कंसेप्ट लेकर के आए डेवलपमेंट राइट। अब वो डेवलपमेंट क्या है उसका प्रो पार्ट है यस वी आर प्रोग्रेसिंग बट व्हाट इज द कॉन पार्ट वो ये है कि हम बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स के साथ घिरते चले गए। प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है कचरा गंदा पानी दूषित हवा और फिर उसको हमने एक नाम दिया डिजीजेस रिलेटेड टू लाइफस्टाइल राइट यू एग्री विद मी। फिर उसके बाद हम आगे बढ़ते हैं तो हमारे जो डॉक्टर्स हैं दे आर टॉट दे आर ट्रेन्ड टू प्रोवाइड टू क्योर इलनेस नॉट टू प्रोवाइड वेलनेस। इसके ऊपर अपने को ध्यान करना पड़ेगा व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट क्योरिंग द इलनेस और लिविंग अ लाइफ फुल ऑफ वेलनेस। अब जब इसकी बात करेंगे तो अभी मेरे से पहले जो दो स्पीकर्स हैं इन्होंने एक बात करी चेंज म्यूटेशियो वो चेंज हमें लेकर के आना पड़ेगा और वो चेंज लाने का तरीका क्या है हु विल ब्रिंग द चेंज। तो एक बहुत अच्छे संत ने कहा बी द चेंज यू वांट टू ब्रिंग। अब हम अपनी जर्नी को अगर आगे बढ़ाते हैं हमारी जर्नी क्या है ये पर्यावरण कहीं दूषित हुआ तो उसका संरक्षण उसकी जिम्मेवारी किसकी तो जिम्मेवारी हमारी इस पीढ़ी की क्योंकि अब हम जो करेंगे वो न केवल इस पीढ़ी के लिए बल्कि आने वाली कई पीढ़ियों को बदलाव दे सकता है। जब पर्यावरण संरक्षण की बात करेंगे तो थोड़ा सा विचार ये करना पड़ेगा कि असल में प्रॉब्लम फैक्टर कहाँ है, प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट क्या है। तो प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट में शुरू करते हैं। तो सबसे पहले बात करें तो प्रदूषित हवा, क्या क्या कारण हो सकते हैं। तो सबसे पहला कारण जो ध्यान में आता है इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन। तो उसके बाद व्हीकल्स, इतने व्हीकल्स बढ़ रहे हैं कि जिसके कारण से लगातार पॉल्यूशन फैल रहा है। फिर फॉसिल फ्यूल बर्निंग, ये कुछ कारण, छोटे छोटे 2-3 कारण है। उसके अलावा बहुत सारे और कारण जिसके कारण लगातार प्रॉब्लम बढ़ रही है। इसके और आगे बढ़े तो इसके आगे बढ़ते हैं तो पानी प्रदूषित हो रहा है। हमारी जो संस्कृति रही है एक समय पर, जिसमें हमने क्या करा, हमें पानी साफ पिलाना एक पुण्य का काम माना जाता है। आज हम पानी की बोतल बेच करके पानी पिला रहे हैं। दिस इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम। फिर आगे अभी थोड़ी देर पहले हमने सुना कचरा, अभी एक बच्चे ने एक विषय रखा कचरा। तो कचरे की डेफिनेशन एक बार थोड़ा सा समझ लें, कचरा है क्या। तो हम कचरे को 3 हिस्सों में बांटते हैं। सबसे पहले वेट वेस्ट, गीला कचरा। क्या हम उसको ठीक से डिस्पोजल कर सकते हैं, निस्तारण कर सकते हैं। तो वो जो गीला कचरा है, पहली बात तो कचरा है ही नहीं। हम कचरे की डेफिनेशन को थोड़ा सा समझ लें। जो भी गीला मटेरियल है, या तो वो जानवरों के खाने के लिए जा सकता है, या तो उससे खाद बन सकती है, राइट। उसके बाद हमारे घर से क्या क्या निकलता है, पेपर, प्लास्टिक, रबर, मेटल, ग्लास। अब इस बात को कुछ सेकंड के लिए यहीं पर रोकते हैं। हम सबके घरों में वेस्ट बिन होगा, हम बहुत जगह पर भी वेस्ट बिन देखते हैं। क्या कभी हमने अपनी जेब से 5 रुपए 10 रुपए निकाल करके उस वेस्ट बिन में फेंके? नहीं शायद। चलिए अब इससे पिछली बात को पकड़ते हैं। हमने बात करी पेपर, क्लोथ, ये सब कुछ। इसमें से कितनी आइटम्स जो रिसाइकिल हो सकती हैं? शायद सभी। शायद वो 10 रुपए 20 रुपए हमारे लिए ऐसे मायने नहीं रखते हैं। बट अपने में से कुछ स्कॉलर भी यहाँ पर हैं, जिनसे बात करें तो हम मैथमेटिक्स लगाते हैं छोटा सा। तो अगर 10 रुपए का कचरा मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 365, 3650 रुपए एक साल के, मल्टीप्लाई बाय 20 इयर्स, कितनी अमाउंट बन सकती है। और अगर मैं अपनी बात करता हूं तो मल्टीप्लाई बाय से 50, तो लाखों रुपए हम कूड़े के ढेर में फेंक रहे हैं। क्योंकि सारी आइटम रिसाइक्लेबल है, सारी आइटम बिकती हैं। और लास्ट क्या बचता है? वो बचता है मेडिकल वेस्ट। सरप्राइजिंगली a figure I just want to share with you, हर रोज कितना कचरा दिल्ली में निकल रहा होगा? 11,000 टन पर डे। और अगर हम थोड़ा सा उसको सोच लें, सेग्रीगेशन ऑफ वेस्ट एट सोर्स करना शुरू कर दें, यानी घर पर ही सारे कचरे को उसको सेपरेट करना शुरू कर दें, तो रिजल्टेंट क्या होता है? रिजल्ट बनता है केवल 2%, जो 11,000 टन है उसका केवल 2% कचरा। सोचना अपने को पड़ेगा। अब हम पानी की बात करते हैं। पानी को अगर बचाना है, पानी के लिए हम सबसे आसान तरीके कुछ आपके साथ साझा करते हैं। डेली रूटीन हम सुबह शुरू करते हैं, नित्य कर्म के बाद हाथ धोते हैं। क्या तरीका है? पानी खोला, उसके नीचे हाथ करे, गीला किया, हाथ पे साबुन लगाया और अच्छे से उसको मला। ऐसे कोरोना में हम सबको सिखाया गया अच्छे से उसको धोना। और उसके बाद दोबारा नलके के नीचे हाथ किया, हाथ धो लिए। परफेक्ट, इसमें कोई गलत तो नहीं है। लेकिन जब आपने हाथ पे साबुन लगाया और जब आपने दोबारा हाथ को धोना शुरू किया, उसके बीच में कितना पानी का भी कैलकुलेट किया? We waste almost 1 liter of water. One single person wastes 1 liter of water in one wash. अब आप सोचिए, भारत की आबादी इस समय पर लगभग 140 करोड़। एवरेज 4 व्यक्ति एक घर में 35 करोड़। और सब लोग गलती नहीं करते, हर घर गलती नहीं कर रहा। केवल 10% अगर गलती करते हैं तो कितना आंकड़ा आएगा? 35 करोड़ का 10% कितना होगा? 3.5 करोड़। तो आप सोचिए कि 3.5 करोड़ लीटर पानी हम एक बार के हाथ धोने में वेस्ट कर देते हैं। क्या हम नहीं बचा सकते? ऐसे ब्रश करते हुए, ऐसे शेव करते हुए, राइट? एक प्रश्न मैं सामान्यतः पूछा करता, अपने में से किस किस को लगता है कि वो सुंदर नहीं है? सबको लगता है, राइट? सबको लगता है हम सब सुंदर हैं। और हम सुंदर क्यों नहीं होंगे? हम ईश्वर की कृति है, ईश्वर के द्वारा बनाया गया कुछ भी जो होगा वो सुंदर तो होगा ही। तो भाई आप आधी बाल्टी से नहा लो, एक बाल्टी से नहा लो, 10 बार, इससे ज्यादा सुंदर नहीं हो सकते, ये मैं गारंटी दे रहा हूं आपको, राइट? हमारे घर में, हमारे अड़ोस पड़ोस में कहीं पानी की लीकेज है, उसको रोक करके पानी की बचत कर सकते हैं क्या? हमारे घरों पर आरओ होगा, उसमें से कितना पानी वेस्ट जाता है? वी नीड टू इंट्रोस्पेक्ट, वी नीड टू सी, पानी बचाने हमें आरओ चाहिए भी क्या? तो जो पानी हम पी रहे हैं वो क्या हमारी बॉडी के लिए ठीक है? एक सिंपल फिल्टर उसका काम नहीं कर सकता क्या? थोड़ा सा विचार करने। हम जब पेड़ की बात करते हैं, हम सबकी ड्यूटी है कि हम कुछ पेड़ लगाएं। यहाँ पे जो भी स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ पे हैं, टीचर्स हैं, लास्ट टाइम भी मैंने ये प्रश्न पूछा था, फिर से पूछता, हम में से कितने जिन्होंने 50+ पेड़ लगाए? 50 से ज्यादा, 30 से ज्यादा, 10 से ज्यादा? ठीक है, बहुत कम अभी भी हाथ उठे हैं। तो 5 से ज्यादा, इससे ज्यादा मैं पूछूंगा नहीं, हाथ नीचे। अभी अपने को समझना पड़ेगा कि पर पर्सन कितने पेड़ लगाने हैं, अपने को हमारी ड्यूटी कितनी है। तो एक छोटे सा आंकड़ा आपके साथ साझा करता, हम सब स्कूल में बैठे हैं तो पढ़ाई तो करते ही हैं, हम सब बड़े होने के बाद भी मैगजीन्स पढ़ेंगे, न्यूज़पेपर्स पढ़ेंगे, ऐसा बहुत सारे पेपर्स पढ़ते हैं। तो उसमें हम लोग ऑलमोस्ट 4 ट्रीज के बराबर का पेपर कंज्यूम करते हैं। अब हमारे घर पे फर्नीचर भी है, अब फर्नीचर है तो कुछ सालों के बाद इच्छा करती है कि फर्नीचर बदल दिया जाए। अब जब फर्नीचर बदलेंगे तो ऑन एन एवरेज जो साइंटिफिक स्टडी है वो ये कहती है कि आप 3 पेड़ के बराबर फर्नीचर पर पर्सन की ड्यूटी बनती है। तो 4 + 3 कितना हो गया? 7। वेरी गुड एट मैथमेटिक्स। अब हम सांस भी लेते हैं, एवरेज लाइफ हमारी 65 साल मान करके चलते हैं। दो मॉर्टेलिटी रेट हैज इंक्रीज, पर भी 65 के हिसाब से चलते हैं। तो ऑन एन एवरेज हमें 12 पेड़ चाहिए सांस लेने के लिए। जो पेड़ ऑक्सीजन हमें दे रहा है उसके लिए 12 पेड़ चाहिए। तो 4 + 3 12 कितना हो गया? तो 4 + 3 7, 7 और 12 19। यस, अब हम बहुत अच्छे हैं, इतने में हमारी तसल्ली नहीं हुई, तो एक पेड़ हम अपने साथ लेकर के जाते हैं। तो टोटल 20 पेड़ की तो मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, कम से कम 20 पेड़ तो मेरे को, उसके बाद जो करूंगा किसी और के लिए करूंगा। और साइंटिफिक स्टडी ये कहती है कि वर्ल्ड ओवर 422 पेड़ प्रति व्यक्ति है, भारत के अंदर केवल 28 पेड़ प्रति व्यक्ति। So we have a shortfall of 394 trees per person multiplied by 140 crores। लगभग 57 लाख करोड़ पेड़ अभी लगाने हैं हमें। और हम अपने जीवन में 1 पेड़, 2 पेड़, 3 पेड़, और हम संतुष्ट हो जाते हैं, मैंने अपने हिस्से का काम कर दिया। तो 20 पेड़ तो अपने हिस्से के, और उसके बाद लगभग कुछ हजार पेड़ पिछली गलतियों को ठीक करने के लिए, अनडू करने के लिए, इसके ऊपर अपने को विचार करना। नेक्स्ट फेज पे चलें। तो पेड़ लगाने कौन से, पौधे लगाने कौन से, जो वुड ट्री की, वुड प्लांट की बात करते हैं, तो उसके लिए बहुत आसान है। जहां पर लगाना है, यू गो देयर, सिट देयर, टॉक टू द एरिया, टॉक टू द सॉइल ओवर देयर। हम पौधों की बात करते हैं तो अपने ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किंच जगत्याम जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुंजिता माकृत कस्य स्वीघ्नम्। ईश्वर ने हमें बहुत कुछ दिया। ईश्वर ने हमें पेड़ दे दिए, ईश्वर ने हमें हवा साफ दे दी, ईश्वर ने हमें पानी दे दिया, लेकिन क्या हम उसका ठीक से प्रयोग कर रहे हैं? क्या हम ऐसी सोच में तो नहीं है कि सारा कुछ मेरा है? ये सारा का सारा जो इकट्ठा करने का जो कंज्यूमरिज्म मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले कहा, ये कंज्यूमरिज्म से थोड़ा बचना, क्योंकि इट्स अ रैकेट। उसके साथ एक और जो बड़ी समस्या जो हमें हमारे दिमाग में इंस्टिल की गई वो है कि मरने के बाद क्या मिलेगा? स्वर्ग मिलेगा। ये जो कंसेप्ट है ये समस्या की बड़ी जड़ है कि साहब ये जीवन तो जैसे भी जी लो, इसके आगे स्वर्ग तो मिलने ही वाला है। फैक्ट इज एंड आई चैलेंज, फैक्ट इज हम स्वर्ग में हैं, हम स्वर्ग में हैं। ईश्वर ने हमें स्वर्ग में भेजा है। ये अपने ऊपर है कि हम इसको स्वर्ग की तरह जी लें या इसको नर्क बना लें, ये अपने ऊपर है। अब ये सब चीजों को कर कैसे सकते हैं? ये सारी प्रॉब्लम्स का सॉल्यूशन क्या है? तो उसका छोटा सा सॉल्यूशन आपके साथ साझा करता हूं। सबसे पहले अपने को क्या करना पड़ेगा? हमें अपना एटीट्यूड बदलना पड़ेगा। दृष्टिकोण, समस्या है, उस समस्या का सॉल्यूशन किसको ढूंढना है? मेरे को ढूंढना है। तो सबसे पहले ए फॉर एटीट्यूड। फिर हमें इसके साथ थोड़ा सा समन्वय, थोड़ा सा सामंजस्य, हमें थोड़ा सा एम्पैथी लेकर के आनी पड़ेगी, इसके प्रति संवेदनशील होना पड़ेगा। जैसे पहले स्पीकर ने हमें सस्टेनेबिलिटी के बारे में बात करी। ये सस्टेनेबिलिटी है क्या? स्थायित्व विकास। ये स्थायित्व लाना पड़ेगा। हमें ध्यान करना पड़ेगा कि हम कितने रिसोर्सेज यूज कर रहे हैं। विदेशी तंत्र हमें लगातार सिखा रहा है कि साहब आप कार्बन फुटप्रिंट लगातार बढ़ा रहे हैं। अब मैं अमेरिका की बात करता हूं। अमेरिका लगभग 4 पृथ्वी के बराबर की जो रिसोर्सेज है उसको यूज करता है। 4 पृथ्वी के जितने रिसोर्सेज हो सकते हैं। दे आर टीचिंग अस हाउ टू लिव अ बेटर लाइफ। भारत के अंदर अभी हम 0.7% पर है। वी आर यूजिंग 0.7% ऑफ रिसोर्सेज। अब उसको और बेटर करना है, क्योंकि जो गलतियां दूसरों ने भी करी उसको भी सुधारने का जो ठेका हमने लिया। तो उसके लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? तो वी हैव टू चेंज आवर लाइफस्टाइल। सो 3 चीजों पे अपन काम करेंगे। एटीट्यूड, एम्पैथी एंड लाइफस्टाइल। इन 3 चीजों पर काम करेंगे तो वन थिंग इज फॉर श्योर, हम ना केवल अपने लिए, आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए भी बहुत कुछ अच्छा कर पाएंगे। तो अपनी बात को समापन की ओर लेकर जाते हुए मैं छोटी सी गेम आपके साथ खेलता हूं, बहुत छोटी सी। अब आप कल्पना करिए कि मेरे पास लगभग इतना चौड़ा, लगभग इतना, लगभग 1.5 फीट, 1.5 फीट, 2 फीट होगा, और इतना मोटा एक लकड़ी का लॉग है जो कि 10 फीट लंबा है या 15 फीट लंबा है। और मैं अगर स्कूल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को बोलूं कि साहब आप उसको यहाँ पर बिछा दीजिए और सभी बच्चों को उनके आप इधर से आएंगे, इसके ऊपर चलते हुए जाएंगे और उस तरफ उतर के नीचे चले जाएंगे, और जो जो ऐसा कर पाएगा उसको 100 रुपए मिलेंगे। करना चाहेंगे? यस और नो? ओके, गुड। अभी थोड़ा सा इसमें और बदल कर हम ऐसा करते हैं, 2 टेबल रखते हैं ऑलमोस्ट इस साइड, यानी लगभग 2-2.5 फीट हाइट पर। एक इस तरफ है, एक इस तरफ है। उसके बीच में वो जो लॉक है, जो फट्टा है, उसको टिका दिया। इधर भी सीढ़ियां हैं, उधर भी सीढ़ियां हैं। अब आपको कहता हूं कि इधर से चढ़ना है, उधर उतरना है, और सबको 1000 रुपया मिलेगा। कौन कौन करने के लिए तैयार है? बहुत सारे हाथ खड़े हो गए, बहुत सुंदर। अब हम इसको थोड़ा सा और चेंज करते हैं। अब मैं आपको कहता हूं कि एक बिल्डिंग है, लगभग 10 मंजिल ऊंची बिल्डिंग है। इधर ये फट्टा रख दिया, ये लॉग रख दिया, और दूसरी तरफ एक बिल्डिंग के ऊपर लॉग रख दिया। इधर से चढ़ना है और उधर जाकर के उतरना है। बट देयर इज वन सिंपल कैच, एक छोटी सी कंडीशन है। जो भी इसको क्रॉस करेगा, क्रॉस करने का एक भी पैसा नहीं मिलेगा। कौन कौन इसको क्रॉस करना चाहेगा? देखिए, देयर आर कपल ऑफ एंथुसियास्ट्स जिन्होंने हाथ बढ़ाया, बाकी नहीं कर रहे। अच्छा, अब मैं आपसे हाथ नीचे करिएगा। अब मैं आपसे कहूंगा कि ये करना है, और आपने जिन्होंने हाथ नहीं खड़ा किया, मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि मेरी अगले सेंटेंस के बाद आप अपना विचार नहीं बदलेंगे। यू प्रॉमिस मी कि आप एक बिल्डिंग में, अच्छा उसमें एक छोटा सा और कैच है, कैच ये कि जो दूसरी तरफ की बिल्डिंग है उधर आग लगी हुई है। अब कौन कौन इधर से चढ़ के और उस तरफ जाना चाहेगा? कपल ऑफ, ओनली ए कपल ऑफ, पीछे बच्चों ने हाथ खड़े किए हैं। आई अपलॉड, बहुत सुंदर, बच्चे एडवेंचरस हैं। अब जिन्होंने ऐसा मन बना लिया कि इधर से चढ़ करके उधर नहीं जाएंगे, मैं उनको सिर्फ छोटा सा इसमें कैच आपके साथ साझा करता हूँ। आपको ये बताया गया कि आप इस बिल्डिंग में खड़े हैं, ये लॉक बीच में लगा हुआ है, उधर बिल्डिंग में आग लगी है और उस तरफ आपके फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं और केवल आप इस रास्ते से जाकर के उनको बचा के ला सकते हैं। कौन कौन जाना चाहेगा? मैंने पहले कहा था अपना स्टेटमेंट मत बदलिए। सो दैट्स व्हाट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड। इस तरफ ये पीढ़ी खड़ी है, उस तरफ हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियां खड़ी हैं। वो जो आग लगी है वो आग हम लोगों ने लगा रखी है। वो आग क्या है? हमने हवा पॉल्यूटेड कर दी, हमने पानी पॉल्यूटेड कर दिया, हमने इस धरती को पोल्यूशन दे दिया। वी आर द पर्सन, वी आर द पीपल हु हैव टू ब्रिज दिस गैप। क्या हम आज अपने आप से, किसी दूसरे के साथ नहीं, क्या हम अपने साथ कमिटमेंट कर सकते हैं? यस, वी विल बी द चेंज, वी विल ब्रिंग द चेंज।
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking session. Now, let us welcome Aniket, Amity's young giant, who will captivate us with his unique ideas.
Greetings to everyone present here. Today, I, Aniket Singh, a student of class 10, would be speaking before you on the topic, the innovation generation, why we students are the new entrepreneurs. It is truly exciting to be a student, isn't it? We live in an era where students are not just learning from textbooks, they are actively shaping the world around them. Today, I am here to discuss how students are emerging as the new entrepreneurs, leveraging technology, social media, and grassroots strategies in order to build impactful ventures. Traditionally, entrepreneurship was seen as something limited to experienced professionals or wealthy businessmen. But let me tell you, this narrative has changed. Nowadays, we, the students, can do much more than what was our earlier potential. Many students, some even in high school, have started launching startups, developing innovative solutions, and also redefining industries right from their classrooms or even their garages. Now, one of the major reasons for this shift is technology. Technology has allowed students the access to knowledge, helping them learn coding, marketing, business strategies, and much more, all for free. But obviously, you don't need to go to your parents and say, I need the money to watch YouTube. Obviously, you won't say that. Because you have the access to YouTube. You can just open your phone and open up YouTube. Now, platforms like YouTube, Coursera, and Udemy are just free and they offer students a virtual classroom. These virtual classrooms have become a brilliant place for aspiring entrepreneurs. Now, even I myself use YouTube to learn various things. And I guess all of you are also using this. Now, with tools like AI, blockchain, and cloud computing right at their fingertips, students are able to develop apps, launch various kinds of AI-driven solutions, and even revolutionize healthcare, finance, and education. Consider Ritesh Agarwal, who founded Oyo Rooms at the age of 19. Small age, isn't it? But let me tell you, that age is not a barrier, it is just a number for those who have the will to work hard, the vision, and the right technology to back up their idea. Moving from technology, social media has become one of the most powerful launch pads for all those who wish to become successful and for those who want to become entrepreneurs. Also, nowadays these platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are no longer just limited for entertainment. They have become business hubs. Many students, right after completing their schooling, go straight to one of these platforms and apply for jobs and internships, and trust me, they are bombarded with opportunities. Also, students have turned content creation into full-time careers, while others also use social media in order to market and grow their businesses. Now, let me tell you, with just one smartphone and an idea, anyone can reach millions of potential customers worldwide. Citing an example, Gymshark started as a small student-led fitness apparel company and is now valued over $1 billion. Big money, right? But let me tell you, that founder Ben Francis was just 19-year-old when he used social media marketing in order to grow his business. Not all students rely on significant funding or digital tools alone. Many of them also use grassroots strategies like tapping into their local communities, collaborating with peers, or crowdfunding their ideas. These ideas are not just small, let me tell you, from selling handmade products to organizing community-driven initiatives. Students have proved again and again that impact can start small and scale big. In the recent years, there has been an increase in the sustainability-focused startups led by students, mental health initiatives, and also various kinds of educational platforms, all fueled by their passion and resourcefulness. The increase in the student-led NGOs and social enterprises tells us that entrepreneurship is not just about profit, it is about purpose. Moving forward, we should not forget the power of collaboration. Unlike the competitive corporate world, students are completely focused on building communities, exchanging ideas, and also lifting each other. With hackathons, online incubators, and various online communities, students are provided with a thriving ecosystem so that they can brainstorm, get the right mentorship, and also turn their ideas into reality. Let me tell you, we should not forget, we are not just the leaders of tomorrow, we are the innovators of today. The world is constantly changing, and we have the rights, we have the access to knowledge, the vision, and the right mentorship of our teachers. So we should indeed work hard to become successful. Whether we dream of building a billion-dollar startup or a small initiative which would impact lives, the possibilities are endless. So what's stopping you? Nobody's going to kill you if you make a mistake, but if you become successful, everybody is going to follow you. So you should learn, build, and innovate. Because the next great entrepreneur could be sitting right here in this room. It may be anyone sitting over here. Now, I would like to conclude my speech with a short but yet powerful and impactful quote said by Mr. Churchill. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwini, for an engaging and impactful presentation. Finally, let's welcome Ms. Rashmi Malhotra to share her valuable thoughts.
Hello everyone. I really empathize with you for hearing us for an hour and a half. I'm sure they have, but I've been on that side and I've never been a speaker myself. I've been an average student all my life. So just having been a movement therapist, I'll just give you a few seconds to just calm yourself, breathe. Let's see how much of you can deep breathe and just relax yourself. Shake your arms. Feel free to shake your arms. Come on. I know you will do that just immediately the moment you're out. Yes? Up there. Very good. Come on. A little bit of your legs. Just make sure you don't hit anyone. I know you would love to hit someone there, and I can see a few boys moving around. Yes. And I know as teachers, I've been on all these sides actually. So as a teacher, I know I have to maintain a discipline here, and I'm sure these students are really going to help us do that because they've already done it, right? For this past 1 hour. It was amazing to see how you all heard and got inspired by a lot of beautiful speakers here, and you were a wonderful audience. What I'm going to talk about is not my story completely. It has glimpses of it, but it is about you, right? It is about making choices consciously. And the reason I'm talking about it is because I was not a leader. I was a very active student. I used to get around 60-70%. And I always got can do betters in my report card. And that kept going on, and that was the only thing consistent in my report card. Now मेरे marks बढ़े, now वो can do better करना, right? But at the end of my school, lots changed, right? And there are times when things change, and that is what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So does everyone have a mojo? Asked the little girl. And yes, everyone who makes an effort will find it. Said Ramona the rabbit. Ramona the rabbit is my spirit animal. This is what we were talking about in shamanism. I'll come to it. So, how many of you have tried wearing someone else's shoes? Right? Whether they were your fit or your size or not. Was it comfortable? Can you imagine yourself doing that? Can you imagine yourself wearing a friend's shoes, teletoes? Yes? And sometimes they're not your style, they're not your size, and they think, oh my god, I can't do it, right? It's so difficult. And that's exactly what we do when we try to squeeze into someone else's shoes, and we have to stop. Because choosing a career that someone else decides for you is exactly like wearing someone else's shoes for a long period of time. So believe me, you have your own mojo, you have your own niche, you have your own career, and that is what is needed. Because I don't need another copy-paste version. There are many speakers who came here, they were amazing. Each one was different. Each one of you is different, and that is what we really need. Interestingly, we're preparing for careers which don't even exist yet. Right? 85% of those careers that will be there in 2030 are not existent as yet. Instagram influencers, which is a very prominent career right now, was not even thought about 15 years ago. Right? There are careers which are forming and shaping and changing every day. You may have hundreds of YouTube videos. YouTube as a channel is slowly dying down. Right? So what you're creating will change immediately. Right? Now, what is a career? What do you think is a career? All of you are making choices in life. What do you think is a career? It may flow from your talent, your interests, your dreams. But what we forget here is a set of qualities. Who are you as an individual should determine what your career is. And that is one of the most important parts of life. And why do we make certain career choices? If I ask you as an audience, how many of you can relate to a village youth, a village student, not even a student, a village adolescent in Bihar? Can I have a few hands up? How many of you can relate to them? Right? Now, when I was working with an NGO in Bihar, I found out that there are girls who are married at the age of 12 to 14. They're expected to get on with their marriages, choose a partner and go on. Because of the societal and parental pressure, right? We all are very different, right? We don't do that, we are very educated and advanced societies. But how do we make choices for our careers? 75% of us choose a career because we want to conform either to the parents, or to our friends, or to our societies. How different are we really? They are choosing to get married because they have to conform to their societies. We are choosing certain careers because we are conforming to our societies. And that's exactly the point. And that's the reason 27% of people change their careers often. Most of us are very less aware of the career choices possible. In fact, if you ask anyone, they would probably be able to list down 8 to 10 or 15 choices. More than that, I must say you're very well aware. There are more than 800 choices available at present. And I won't be surprised if it was in a field. So can you imagine making a career choice out of those 800 choices available? It's more than going to a Myntra app and trying to find clothes, right? There are so many more options. Now, just close your eyes. I think you've seen enough. Just let's see what you want to see. Close your eyes. Imagine your life 10 to 15 years from now. And just tell me, what do we see? We've just spoken about earning a lot of money. And when we talk about imagining our lives, 10 to 15 years of life from now, most of us see ourselves in a successful job as successful CEOs
or working with someone, having great houses, lot of money, luxury, celebrating our lives at the same time. That is what is designing us, a myth of a perfect career. That there is one career you will choose and that you will stay with. I think everyone knows times are changing and there's nothing called as perfect career. Right? There's no perfect student, there's no perfect teacher, there's no ideal world, and therefore we need to work with it. I have worked with founders, and one of the founders who was doing an amazing job and suddenly felt a huge burnout. Ran out of company, did a great job, felt a huge burnout, left it for 4 years not doing anything. Unable to do it, had a huge burnout. Went for a few coaching therapy sessions, loved it so much, actually started a coaching company. Right? So things change. There is nothing one perfect career out there. This is one we have talked about since morning about power of passion. How we need to follow what we really feel about. And Stanford University has talked about how people who are following their passions have 3 times more happiness and life satisfaction. He spoke about how we all crave for money. But why do you want money? Have you ever thought that? What will money give you? Most of us are craving for money because we feel that money will give us life satisfaction, happiness or peace. So technically we are moving or working for that. Money is a source to get it, an important source definitely. So when we are talking about all these factors, most of us are unable to find our passions, right? I at this age, in 10th, 11th, didn't know where I was going. I took medical because that was a stream that kept a lot of options open and that was one thing I was very clear about. I need to keep my options open, otherwise I get stuck. In fact, I also got a little percentage in 10th. In 11th, 12th, again I was back to normal. So how do we do things differently when I am in that space, right? How do we take choices consciously? Why? Because it's your life. You can never go back to it. That's one thing that cannot change. I can never go back to being 16. These are the 3 learnings I'm going to talk about. So when you're making your choices, remember they may help you a little. Also, your career choices are not only designed by the streams you choose. They are designed by small actions you take. Right? For example, one of you can actually think about how to make the audience experience more interesting. And that can actually be a very good startup idea. That's how probably I think the 5P came out. Right? First learning, finding a career may not be a straight line. I know of one of my clients again, actually went on a 1-year break after class 12, trying to do a lot of work in different places, tried for a few fellowships, experienced a lot more games, and realized that actually found where she wanted to be. Most of us are very scared of those gap years. Most of us are very scared when there's a gap in our CV at any point of time. But believe me, it's not a straight line. Thanks to ma'am, when she was reading my profile, I could only do all those things because I was ready to change. I was ready to move from not only being a teacher or a trainer, and I was like, okay, I've done it enough, now I need to do something else. I was ready to learn. It may change at different times in life. So for example, when I got married, I had a kid, and I took a break and had a sabbatical, it became very important for me to still work. But yes, a full-time work for me was not working out. And that's when I realized I could be an author. And I started writing modules for different NGOs. So there are always choices available, there are always options available, as long as you are ready to take initiatives. Making your interest into career space may require creative thinking. How many of you think about certain things which are not very interesting? They're not really careers, right? For example, gardening, for example, pottery, right? They're not full-fledged careers, but people have made them full-fledged careers. The idea is, am I ready to follow it? At the same time, if I've done it and I'm not reaching anywhere, or I've done it enough according to my standards, I'm ready to change. Both are acceptable. So what I'm going to give you today, is it working? Okay. What I'm going to talk about today is a toolkit which can help us choose our careers more consciously.
Besides going to a career counselor who does a battery of tests, who helps you decide these are your personality traits, these are your interests, these are your aptitudes, there is something else that we need to know, because you're more than those simple tests. You're more than just those simple test scores, and therefore that is what you need to find out. The first is, and it's very cliched, I know, but yes, it is true. Listen to your heart. Don't do things just for the heck of it. Do them for the joy of it, because you enjoy them, right? I was working, doing very well as a counselor, as a teacher, as a trainer, and that is one day, after years of teaching, I realized I'm doing the same job, I need to change. It was literally like dragging a boulder every day with myself, because I was getting tired of it. And I realized I needed to listen to that little teeny voice in my heart, which kept saying, change. You want to change. I was always looking for another option to shift. Where do I go? What do I take up? Which is the next safe option that I'm moving on to? I didn't have an answer. So I decided to hear it. And that led me to open up so many more areas for us. So many more areas of me. So when that voice in heart calls, listen, think, and act. I think none of us, all the speakers here have kind of constantly spoken about how important it is to act. But what you listen to is important. That voice never asks you to judge yourself, right? That voice never asks you to do anything wrong. But it always takes care of the joy and your next step beautifully. Take up new opportunities, and exploration is the first step to discovery. Be ready to take initiatives. You don't have to do every time, you don't have to do anything big. Let's just start with what I want to do. If I am getting curious to know about something, let me go ahead and learn about it, right? It could be with the world on your fingertips, you could be learning much more. The challenge is, most of us, because we have the world on our fingertips, are shifting from one place to another and not staying with one more persistently. And that is exactly what it means. So when we talk about exploring new opportunities, we are also talking about exploring what does my interest lie? What is the kind of personality I have? For example, I had to arrange a wedding in my family, right? And you all know big, fat Indian Punjabi weddings. They can be huge to organize. I was just 20, and it was a difficult task, managing everything, managing relatives, managing the whole venue, everything. But it helped me develop skills, which actually led me to organizing international conferences for my own organization. So you never know, this opportunity that is coming to you is actually giving you a lot of skills to move on to another space. Create sounding boards. How many of you journal? How many of you write? Beautiful. Thank you so much. If you go to a therapist, that's the first thing that they will ask you to do. Why do we need it? How many have written something, torn it off, burnt it, and got it over with? Like jab we met, you write, mess it up, and give all kind of, use all kind of cuss words, burn it out and get over it. Have you done that? Yes, can we raise our hands please if you've done that? And it's a very, yes, it is a very impactful technique. That's called cathartic writing. Definitely. What helps more is if you write every day. Because when you journal every day, you're creating a space for yourself. A very safe space for yourself to explore and share your thoughts, fears, vulnerabilities, and challenges. It's the successes we share with the world. It's normally the fears and vulnerabilities that we keep to ourselves. And believe me, I'm around 47, and my journal has seen me crying way more, even at this stage, than anyone else. Because that is where you need that space to share. It also gives, and in fact, when I was going to do this TED talk, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do it? What am I going to talk? Because I've been that side, and I know students who want to hear a lot more. Yes, you've had inspiring speakers, so yes, but sorry, enough, I've done it, right? So, how do I do it? And to make myself more comfortable, that's the first thing I do, right? So, create more sounding boards, write, and when you write, that idea also has a lot more chances to materialize. Connect with your body. Okay, close your eyes right now. And let's just check in. Just close your eyes. I know, please hold yourself here in a safe space. We are all not going to ask you to share any of your personal details. We want you to keep them to yourself and just check in, how's your body feeling right now? It's feeling tired, it is carrying something, but what else is happening with it? There will be a lot of memories, there will be a lot of images that come up. Open your eyes now and just see how is it feeling right now. What are you experiencing within yourself? And that is what is one of the biggest gifts that we carry, our body. Our body is a storehouse of all our unconscious, and according to Freud, 90% of our decisions are taken with the help of our unconscious. So you might as well connect to it. The last one, which I think has been emphasized long enough and for a lot of times, is take one step at a time. Not every step you take has to become a larger initiative. There will be some you will drop out. There will some you will carry forward. But when you collect all those little things, they make a big thing. And therefore, one step makes it manageable. Right? And one last thing. You are not your career. You're not your work. You're not your family. You're not your friends. Don't identify yourself only by these things. You are there just a part of you. You are much more than that. So be you. Thank you so much.
As we reach the conclusion of today's inspiring event, it is time to express our heartfelt gratitude to the visionary leader, Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan ma'am, who has been the guiding force behind the growth and success of our institution. We are truly grateful, ma'am, for your constant support and inspiration.
May we now request our respected chairperson, ma'am, to address the August gathering with her enlightening words.
Ma'am John. Chairperson ma'am, would you like to speak to the children and thank the speakers? All right. Thank you so much, children.
Yes, can we be quiet? Thank you. And now, let's open the stage for a thought-provoking session. This is your chance to engage with our speakers, ask questions, and delve deeper into the ideas that have been shared.
Feel free to raise your hand and we'll bring the mic to you. Let's make this as insightful as possible.
From our marks, so entering different fields is quite tough for us. So how can we actually conquer it?
Okay, so first of all, I think that you will be judged by your marks till you get a good college. So, we keep on saying that, of course, we need to do extracurriculars and do this and that. But the moment you step out of the school, the first thing that people, identify you as is which college are you entering to, and that is very essential. I mean, why do our teachers spend so much time telling us that study, pado, because at the end of the day, somewhere those marks do matter. I got almost 95% with the PCMB stream, and I was very upset that मेरे को 100 नहीं मिला किसी भी subject में, because I was expecting that. And though I got into a government college of architecture with an all India rank of 887 in JEE mains, but I was still very upset. So that did happen. But today when I look back, I feel that all that was a part of who I am today. So I might be a former beauty queen, but whenever I go somewhere and say that, okay, I had this marks and this was my rank, that is when people realize, okay, she's different from everybody else there. So that's why, you will have the pressure, but just choose the stream wisely because that will define you. And if you like what you're doing, you will get marks and you'll do well. So that is it. Thank you.
So my question was that as the 21st century delves into the digital age, how can technology and social media impact student-led initiatives?
Who are you asking? Anybody wants to answer?
So I think I already mentioned a bit about it. When I was, in school, we used to actually, look for contact numbers. We would, bother our teachers so much कि मैम एक बार contact दे दो. How do we reach them? But आज के time पे I keep on seeing that, this digital era has made it easier. Every big organization, they do have their website where they have made it very accessible to students. So if you actually know what you want to do, अगर आप जाके research करो, so कोई ना कोई representative you will find who will connect with students. Because आजकल they want students to get involved in every big issue. कोई ना कोई youth forum, student forum always होता है. So अगर आपको actually पता है कि आप किस चीज के लिए you're looking out for, you do your research and you will get the contact. Otherwise, you always have people like us. You can always get in touch with us and we're there to guide you.
I think the biggest challenge and the biggest strength is normally the biggest disadvantage also, right? So while digital media allows you to access much more easily, at the same time, when you get distracted and get lot more initiatives, you're not being persistent in one area, right? And that hurts you. And realizing what you are bringing to the table actually creates a lot more power. When I'm just saying I'm just a student and nothing, I cannot do much, is when I'm not really approaching with that wholeheartedness. It's about your belief in what you're bringing in, which changes the whole thing. Right? Thank you.
Don't indulge in social media and everything so much that you forget your academics, because I just got this thought. Your school life is something that is not going to last long, but the projects that you do, it will last with you forever. So if you ever feel that you're not, doing enough in school, once you move out, you will get that chance to do. But iske liye don't compromise on your padhai. That is something I definitely want to say.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to pose this question to you, Asmita ma'am. Ma'am, firstly, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring words today. I think it has truly made a difference, at least for me, and it has truly moved us a lot. Ma'am, the question that I would like to ask you is that how can the initiatives that are student-led, create a lasting impact that goes beyond school, ma'am?
So, you see, if you start something right now, eventually when you go to college, you can carry that same idea. Like when we were in college, we did a lot of initiatives in school. We started many little initiatives, be it the one that I mentioned, Project Citizen. We were part of Youth Power and we were very actively involved in all of this. But the moment we entered college, now how would people know that we're doing some work? It's these small things that we took up in school that we went and showcased there in the societies. The moment we enter, there are so many societies screening students. They want to select leaders. They want to choose you. And then you have to have a resume of what all have you done in school so that people there can know that, okay, you are capable of leading this. And then you take up an initiative there. And most colleges, they are associated with the government also. So they have representatives who will come and scout that what projects are you doing, and eventually in the longer run it will reach a bigger platform or a stage. So you just need to find those societies which relate to your cause and go and look at those. That's very important. Yeah.
My question is for Asmita ma'am. So ma'am, we have a lot of problems at hand, like as sir mentioned, we need to plant a lot of trees, animal welfare, but in all of these as a student leader, how do we ensure that we are being inclusive and we value all the opinions that are there at hand?
So again, like, I need a mic actually. To be inclusive and to pick up that exact thing that we're doing, as ma'am mentioned very rightly, that don't get yourself involved in so many things that you cannot choose what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, when you do a lot of things, you will just move away from your actual agenda. You will just go away from it. So just pick one and then try to explore as many options as possible to do that to your best. Like, that is very important. If you do many, as students, we were also involved in many, many things. But eventually, I had to pick one thing that I wanted to be ahead with. So that gets changed. School is the best time to explore, but try to choose that one thing so that you can do whatever comes to your mind for that. So yeah.
I have a question. I have a question for Vinny. So how can we fight the challenges that we face in a digital world to be sustainable and be environmentally healthy?
Okay. How do we face the challenges?
How do we be environmentally friendly in a digital world?
Okay. देखिए अपने को एक समझना पड़ेगा कि चैलेंज है क्या. Do we actually face the challenge? No. Actually, you have to start enjoying those moments. So when you start enjoying the moment, उसके बाद फिर आपको चैलेंज नहीं लगता है. एक बात. दूसरा, डिजिटल वर्ल्ड और एनीथिंग विच इज व्हाटएवर इज कमिंग अप, जो नई चीजें हमारे जीवन में आ रही है वो हमारे लिए हेल्प करने के लिए. हम उनसे कैसे बेनिफिट ले सकते हैं, हमें उसको देखना है. इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है, जैसे आज हम बात करते हैं पॉलीथीन की. पॉलीथीन या प्लास्टिक, दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि उसका डिस्पोजल कैसे होगा, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. तो डिजिटल वर्ल्ड के अंदर हम लगातार अगर ई वेस्ट जनरेट कर रहे हैं तो उसको ठीक से डिस्पोजल करना हमारी ड्यूटी है. उसके ऊपर अपने को फोकस करना पड़ेगा. हम जब बात करते हैं कि हमें हर रोज नए चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं, उस चैलेंजेस का हम केवल उसका नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट देखते हैं. जब उसका पॉजिटिव साइड देखना शुरू करेंगे तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि हमारे लिए चैलेंज नहीं बनेगा, हमारे लिए एक अपॉर्चुनिटी बनेगी. जब हम बात करते हैं, एक छोटी सी कहानी आपके साथ साझा करता हूँ. एक बार एक कंपनी शूज बना रही थी और उन्होंने एक कुछ ऐसा एरिया जहाँ पे केवल जो जंगलों में रहने वाले लोग हैं उनके मन में आया कि वहां पर अपना प्रोडक्ट बेचें. तो उन्होंने वहां पे एक सेल्समैन को भेजा. वहां पर रहा 2 महीने 3 महीने के बाद उसने आके रिपोर्ट सबमिट करी. सिर्फ एक 3 लाइन थी कि साहब वहां पर कोई भी जो है चप्पल नहीं पहनता है, शूज नहीं पहनता है, तो वहां पर हमारी कोई भी सेल की ऑप्शन नहीं है. तो उस मीटिंग के अंदर एक और आपके जैसा एक एंथुसियास्टिक बच्चा बैठा था. उसने कहा कि सर मेरे को एक मौका दीजिए, मैं भी जरा स्टडी करना चाहता हूं. द एंटायर बोर्ड वाज अगेंस्ट देम. बट देन वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम उन्होंने कहा कि चलो ठीक है, जहां इतना किया वहां. तो वो व्यक्ति जो बालक है, वो जो सेल्स पर्सन है, वहां पे गया और जाकर के उसने 1 महीने बाद अपनी कंपनी को बोला कि मेरे को 1 ट्रक जूते यहाँ पे भेज दीजिए. कंपनी वाज अमेज्ड, शॉक्ड. उन्होंने कहा भाई चलो भरोसा करके देखते हैं. 1 ट्रक भेज दिया. 1 महीने बाद उसने दोबारा से कहा कि 1 ट्रक और भेज दीजिए. अब जब दूसरा ट्रक भेजने की बारी आई तो कंपनी ने कहा कि उसके पैसे, भाई जो पहला ट्रक गया था उसका क्या हुआ. उनका रुको, थोड़ा सा वेट करो, अभी दूसरा ट्रक भेजिए, देन वी टॉक अबाउट इट. अब उसने क्या किया, उसने देखा कि जो 1 साल के अंदर जो पहला जो ट्रक गया था उसके अंदर जितने जूते थे उसने उन सबको फ्री में बांट दिए. उनको एक आदत डाल दी. सो ही सॉ द अपॉर्चुनिटी. उसने जब अपनी रिपोर्ट बना के सबमिट की, उसने कहा कि साहब यहाँ पर कोई भी चप्पलें नहीं पहनता, कोई भी जूते नहीं पहनता है, तो वी हैव लॉट ऑफ स्कोप फॉर सेलिंग आवर प्रोडक्ट. सो हाउ डू यू सी इट, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. आप उसको कैसे अपनी फेवर में कर सकते हैं, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट। तो आप उस तरह से इसको सोचेंगे तो आपको हर काम के अंदर जैसे कहते हैं कि इफ यू सी द कंपटीशन then you don't see the opportunity, and if you see the opportunity you are not bothered about the competition. So that's what I think you should carry along. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask that ma'am said various times that teaching was becoming a boulder and she was becoming bored with it. So I wanted to ask that once you're transitioning your career, there's a period of hiatus in between where your income is cut off. So how do you deal with the mental challenge and risk of changing careers just in case the second one doesn't work out?
Thank you so much, and I think it's a very important question. So what I think I said it, but just to add to it, I took 2 years of my time to actually plan for it. So when that idea came on and I realized this is becoming a very tough job, and the job is great, but I don't want to do it anymore, I actually took a 2 years of time to plan myself, to create enough safeguarding so that I know that I can sustain myself for another 2 years. Right? And then I can always go and try new things. So while I may be trained as a psychologist and an educationist, the world is open to me. I can take up much more things. So planning your safeguarding or safeguarding yourself in terms of financial aspects does help us take much more comfortable decisions. Thank you so much. But I think it's a brilliant question.
So take a while. जब रश्मि जी बोल रही थी तो मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था कि शायद ये मेरे बारे में बात कर रही है। जब इन्होंने कैरियर का और रोज ने भी कुछ ऐसा बताया कि चेंज, आपने एक स्ट्रीम पकड़ी, यू चेंज। मैं अपने बारे में छोटा सा एक कंसेप्ट शेयर करना चाहूँगा। started my career as a computer engineer. I continued it for around 10 years. तो लगा कि नहीं, कुछ मजा नहीं आ रहा, कुछ नया करना है। I started a factory for manufacturing inverter batteries. I continued for 10 years. लगा नहीं, अभी भी मजा नहीं आ रहा, कुछ और करना चाहिए। I made another shift and started my career as contractor in civil engineering. And that was the time जब मेरे को लगा कि नहीं, civil engineering मेरे को, मैं काम तो कर सकता हूँ, लेकिन to be more acceptable मेरे को कुछ सीखना भी पड़ेगा। And that time I was around 40. मैंने उस समय पर डिप्लोमा किया सिविल इंजीनियरिंग के अंदर, 3 years डिप्लोमा। उसके बाद लगभग फिर 10 साल, यानी 10 साल का ऑलमोस्ट शिफ्ट। लगा नहीं, बहुत हो गया, कुछ और करना चाहिए। I left that and I ventured into hospitality industry. मैं सिर्फ जो अभी आपने जो प्रश्न पूछा, मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि आप, बहुत सारे लोग दिमाग के अंदर एक मेंटल बैरियर लेकर के चलते हैं कि चेंज, यू कैन नॉट चेंज योर कैरियर। आई टेल यू, आप कभी भी चेंज कर सकते हैं। ओनली थिंग यू हैव टू प्लान आउट। ओनली थिंग, जैसा कि रश्मि जी ने बताया, थोड़ा सा प्लान करिए एंड यस, यू कैन चेंज योर कैरियर। इट इज वेरी सिंपल। अब मैं अगर बात करूं तो कंप्यूटर इंजीनियर से एंटरप्रेन्योर, मैन्युफैक्चरर से लेकर के और एक सिविल इंजीनियर से लेकर के हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री, यानी चारों का आपस में कहीं कोई कनेक्ट नहीं है। और हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री में मेरे 4 साल बीत चुके हैं और अगले 6 साल में मेरे को और क्या करना है, मैं उसके बारे में सोच रहा हूँ। राइट? थैंक यू।
Huge thank you to our esteemed speakers for gracing this platform with their ideas, insights, and passion. Your presence has truly made this TEDxYouth event an unforgettable experience.
We also extend our deepest gratitude to our respected principal, Mrs. Divya Bhatia ma'am, for her constant encouragement and support in providing students with this golden opportunity to shine.
Of course, a massive shout out to the organizing team, volunteers, and the entire Amity family for their hard work in bringing TEDxYouth event at Amity.
With that, we conclude today's TEDxYouth event. Remember, change begins with one idea, one initiative, and one step. And that step starts with you.